Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning.
Waalaikumsalam.
Morning, sir.
Waalaikumsalam. Good morning, sir.
Waalaikumsalam, sir. Good morning.
Okay, so today we are going to discuss on chapter 3, which is modular programming. Okay, so this is not new topic. That's why I ask you to do the lab exercise first. So the lab exercise is about modular programming, or also we call as a function. Okay, so this is your friend answer. Okay, so this is the question. Okay, the one that I ask you to do is first develop a non-module flowchart. Okay, referring to this code over here, kan? And then develop a non-module algorithm, develop a module flowchart, develop a module algorithm. This one need to include the parameter, kan? If it is algorithm and it is a module, then you need to put the parameter. Okay. Okay, before we go to the slide, so let's look at some of the answer. Okay. Okay, some of our friend answer. Okay. Amir Hamzah ada Amir Hamzah? Amir Hamzah? Ni kan, starting dah salah Amir Hamzah. So this is wrong output kan. So this is non-module algorithm. Module salah juga module symbol for module flowchart kan. It should be ada box kan, box and then small box inside of it kan, double box kan. So this one is from apa ni, CC 20092. Apa? 20092. So this is, I think, correct answer So we have flowchart, algorithm. Okay, the one that we want to focus is on the module part So this is the module okay. So as you can see over here, supposedly you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6. Okay, given the question the question asks you to develop this one module algorithm, flowchart and module algorithm, you must include one. Okay, one module. Input 1, input 2, calculate total 2, print. So all together 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 module so you must really understand the question. Okay. This module and the module that we are going to discuss later on is similar, similar thing. Okay, so this is 6 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is the control so make sure this is control control apa, control sum ke apa and then we have separate this is not really 100% correct because it's supposed to be the name of the module for example module welcome, so module welcome over here and then this supposed to be exit okay, so the sub module should be module name and exit. This supposed to be control and end. Okay, and then we have the algorithm. Okay, I think this is correct. Okay, so you see this is a parameter parameter by reference by reference. So by reference, hopefully those who already forget I'm not going to repeat again the previous semester lecture. That's why I give you the link to the recording video so you need to understand this first before you can move forward to the coding because the theory is similar. But today, as a starting, we are not going to discuss on parameter by reference. We are just going to use the parameter by value. That one is much easier to understand. But later on, we are going to move to parameter by reference. Okay. So modular programming, the objective is for you to know the need for function. This one already covered in previous semester. And the one that we are going to focus is how to write a function. Okay, how to write a function. So basically, when we talk about function, this is introduction. I'm going to skip this. This one already covered in why we need function. Already covered in problem solving, kan? So let me ask you. Let me ask you question. Since we already covered this. Okay, let me ask you, why we need function? Give me reason why we need function or modules. Amirul Haziq. Amirul Haziq. Why we need modules or function? Amirul Haziq. Why we need modules or function? Why don't we write the program just a sequence program? Why we need a module? Sekejap pula dia. Amirul Haziq, are you here? We couldn't hear you. Amirul Haziq. Microphone problem, okay. Dania Kistina. Dania Kistina?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, give me one reason why we need to apply function or module in our program. Apa dia?
Untuk bahagikan dia punya problem.
Okay, dia bahagikan tu okay betul. That's why kita bahagikan kan. We separate portion our program into several sub program kan. So why we do that? Why we do that? Ingat lagi tak? Ni baca ni nampak ni. Ni ada kan. So this is why. First, if you have a bigger program kan. If you have bigger program, let's say if it is not applying a module kan. The line of code for that particular program is 10,000 lines of code kan. Ni kan. If we open up the code block kan, ni, the line is let's say 10,000 line. So if you want to debug kan, let's say there's an error kan. Let's say there's an error, and then the error is the semantic error, which is not appear over here kan. Let's say the error is on the semantic. Semantic you cannot detect over here. The one that can be detected over here is only syntax error kan. For example, printf you write down print kan. So this is syntax error. But for semantic error, probably the output is not correct. But it is appear, but the output is appear, but it is not correct. So we want to detect, kan? If you have 10,000 line of code, so it's very hard to detect the error. For example, that one is for maintenance. So by putting a specific output, for example, kan, in a specific module, kan. So let's say if you have a problem with the output, you just focus on the output module only. Let's say the output module consists of only 100 lines of code. So that one reduce your time to search for the error kan. Okay, so that one is first, it is for easy to maintain lah. You want to search for error, if you want to update the program, if you want to modify the program. The second one is for reusable. Okay, for example, in our program, we want to get user input for example, this one, for user information. For example, in previous hot, user need to enter user information apa? Student kan? Student information kan? Name, and then the program kan? That one is considered as user information kan? Let's say in that particular program, user need to enter uh, user information in 5 different location. Okay, in the codes. For example, in line 1000, user need to enter user information, and then in line 5000, user need to enter user information, and then in line 10,000, user still need to enter user information. That one is the same coding applied kan in these 3 different location. Correct. So if you are not applying a module, then you need to write down the similar codes 3 times. Okay. So that one is not very practical. So by applying a module or function, you just write down one module, okay, for user information, and every time you want to use this function, you just call it in your program, okay, in your main program. So it is for reusable. So one program, one module, you can call many times. Okay, that's the example. So we are going to go straight to how to write down the function. So basically, the one that we already covered is built-in function, class. There are 2 types. In general, the bigger picture, we have 2 types of function. The first one is built-in function, which we call from the C library kan. Library ni lah, the one that we already use is stdio.h kan, for printf function, scanf function, if, what else, looping kan, for, while. The one that have bracket on it, that one is a function, and the one that we already covered is built-in function. Okay, for example, if we call from string.h, what we call from string.h, example of function that we call from string.h, class?
String
Ini?
copy.
String copy, string compare, that one from string.h. From library math.h, example? Maths.h library, what function that we call?
Power.
Apa? Sorry?
Power.
Tak dengar sangat lah. Power kan, POW tangent, cos, cos, sinus, sin. So most of the mathematical function, we call it from math.h library. So that one is built-in function, okay, where it is predefined by the C library, okay. The one that we are going to focus is user-defined function. User-defined function, the means of user here is programmer lah. You as a programmer are going to create the function by yourself, okay. So in order to do the user-defined function, there are three elements. Okay, there are three elements that you need to write down in your coding. Three elements, the number of elements is similar with looping kan. Looping we need three elements. This also need three elements but different elements. Okay, so the first elements function declaration. Okay, the second one is function definition, and the third one is function call. Okay, calling a function. Function call lah, calling a function kan. Function call so three function declaration, or also known as function prototype. So function prototype, function declaration is referring to the same thing. Sometimes the question will ask you to develop function prototype, and then sometimes the term used is function declaration, so it is similar. Okay, so this is the elements. Okay, this is classification based on elements. These three elements need to be presented in all user-defined function. Okay, next we are going to look at types of this is element, and then we have types of user-defined function. Don't get confused. This is element, three elements. Next, we have types of user-defined function. This is the type. There are four types of user-defined function. The first one is void without parameter. Next, void with parameter. With parameter, there's a parameter lah. Okay, inside of the bracket kan. If it is referring to algorithm, this one this is with parameter. With parameter kan. If without parameter, this is without parameter. This is supposed to be bracket over here, and it is empty bracket and empty. So this is without parameter. This is with parameter. You understand, class? Difference between with parameter and without parameter. Understand? Clear?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, and then we have non-void. So this is non-void. Non-void module or function without parameter. Okay, next we have non-void. Okay, non-void function with parameter. This is four types of user-defined function. Okay, types. So in each of these type, okay, you must, if you want to use any of this type, you must have these three elements. Okay, these three elements must be presented in each of the types dari tu So we have four types. In each type must have these three elements. Okay, doesn't matter what type of user-defined function that you want to use, you must type or you must apply these three elements. Okay, that one So these are the basic. Next we are going to move on how to write down a user-defined function. So this is the coding from last week lab exercise. Okay, so from here we are going to create the user-defined function. Okay, so let me write down notes over here. So first we have ini notes bukan coding notes. Okay, can you see my coding clearly, class?
Yes.
Boleh So this is a side note So we have three elements. of user-defined function, which are a function prototype or function declaration. And then we have function definition. Next, you must also write down in your program function call. Okay, these are three elements. Okay, very easy to remember. And then we have four types of user-defined function, which are, first one is void function without parameter. Second one, we have void. Apa kelas? Void. What's the second one? Void
With parameter.
with parameter. Okay, next we have non-void. Without parameter. Next we have non-void with parameter. Okay, so each of these must have these three elements. Okay, so let's look at the first type of user-defined function, which is void without parameter. So how you want to write this one? Okay, so we have this. Okay, first you need to understand what is void, what is non-void. So this is it void or non-void? Int main. The main function over here, is it void or non-void?
Non-void.
It is non-void. Okay, class. If it is a void function, okay, that's why you see in some of the example, they are using void main. So it is either void or integer. Okay, for main it is okay. If you want to use integer, can. You if you want to use void, also can. But the best way is to use int. Why is it? If you are using int main, at the bottom of the main body, you must put return 0 kan. So 0 is integer. Okay, 0 is integer value. So you are returning integer value. That's why you put integer over here. Okay. If it is a void, if you want to use void main also can. But at the bottom of the main body, you must write down return only. Okay, return nothing. So return nothing meaning that it is a void function. If you want to use void main, put return or don't put anything. So it is similar, return nothing. Okay, so it return nothing. So this same with this statement. Okay, return nothing. So return to who kan? Return to what kan? Return to the system. If you put int, meaning that if the program ended, it will return 0 value to the system, so that system know your system. Okay, your whole system. Okay, for example the Windows lah. So the Windows know that this program already ended. Okay, so we want to let the Windows know that this program already ended. That's the difference between int and void. If you are using void main, you run the program. So when the program ends, it doesn't tell the Windows that it is ended, which is not good, Yeah. So everything that started should have and end kan. So your Windows for example kan, Windows should know that all the programs that run within it, whether it is already start or it is already end. Okay, but in terms of correctness, this still okay kan. Although it is not very good, but it is still okay. If you put like this void main. This is a case of for main. So that's the difference between void and int if it is a main program. Okay, so that's about void. Void meaning it is written nothing. So in our case over here, you want to create a void without parameter. Okay. So like this class for starting since you are beginner so you will not you will have for the starting you will be having a trouble to differentiate between which function should be void, which function should be non-void. Okay, so as a starting so treat all user-defined function as a void first. Okay, since we don't know whether it is void or non-void, so it is very good practice that always start it with void first. So later on, when we move on with our function development, you may change it whether it remain as a void user-defined function or you need to change it to non-void. But for starting, treat all user-defined function as a void first. Okay. So first thing that you need to know is to identify in your program which statement that you want to put inside of the user-defined function. So how do you want to know this? Refer to the question. Okay, for example, in this question, so in this question, mention that you need to create modules name welcome. So this is your requirement. So in your program, you need to create module welcome. So based on your opinion, which one is the statement that we should put inside of module welcome class? Which statement in module welcome?
Print welcome.
Okay, line 18 print welcome. So identify the statement that you want to put in the user-defined function. Okay, so this is module welcome. So next step, once you already identify the statement, okay. Let me put note over here, step. So the first step is to identify. To be moved to a function. Okay, so once we already identify, next step is to create. Function definition first. Create function definition. Okay, create function definition. Okay, this one create function definition. So function definition inside of our program, the location should be below main body. So where is the main body? Over here. So this is main body. It should be below main body, not inside. Not inside main body. It should be below main body, which is over here. Enter here. Okay, below main body. Understand, class? Function definition. So this is the location for function definition. Okay, if you have more than one function, function definition. Okay, so write down the name of the function. So we have function welcome kan, from our design we have function welcome, and then put down the body of the function definition. Okay, so this is separate from main, separate. Okay, up until this point, can you understand, class?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, function definition. So as I mentioned earlier kan, so we at this point we doesn't know whether it should be a void function or non-void function kan. So always treat your function, okay, at the beginning as a void function. Okay, clear? Okay, clear. So next is to move the statement. Okay, create function definition, and then move the statement. Kan? Cut the apa statements to the function body. Cut the which statement? This statement lah. So we already identify this statement. Cut. Cut. So this is the original location. Original location. Let's say, okay, this I will mark this for later. So this is the original location. Okay, I mark it as XX. So that we didn't forget where the location is. And then paste it over here. Okay, right. So over here, then we must decide. Over here, we must decide whether it is a void function, or we should change this to non-void function. So how to do that? Okay, so for that we must go to here. Okay, so this location. Okay, and then this will go to the next step, which is replace the original statement location with function call. Meaning that this is the original location of the statement, okay, that we cut. Replace this with function call. So what is function call? This is the name of the function. You copy the name and put it over here. So this is function call. Okay, put bracket. Bracket is a function similar with scanf have bracket and so this have bracket and then semicolon. So this is function call. Okay. Okay, so we have function call. Okay, class, ada soalan ke? Okay, so we are going back to the void tadi tu. So once we have this, then we can proceed with the void. So void ni, so we want to confirm whether it should be remain as a void or we should change it to non-void. So for this one, we must look at the function call and refer to the rest of the codes below the function call. Below function call, the rest of the codes is over here lah. Okay, until the end of main body kan. Okay, refer to the statements below of function call, is there any variable or calculation or input or output statement that require a value from function welcome? Ada tak? Is there any statement or variable below function call for welcome that require a value from function welcome? Ada?
No.
Tak ada.
Kan? Since function welcome is only printing a text, so it doesn't generate any value kan? It doesn't generate. So how to generate value? For example, scanf, calculation, that one is generating a value. So this function doesn't generate any value. So it doesn't need to pass the value to any of the statements below the function call. So below here doesn't require any value from welcome. So it remains as void. Okay. Why is it void? Because it return nothing. Okay. It return nothing. Return to where? Return to the function that is calling it. Okay, in this case, the function that is calling function welcome is not Windows kan? It is main. Main is the one that is calling function welcome. So after it is calling function welcome, okay, the compiler will read function welcome, and over here, since there are no value generated by function welcome, so it return nothing to main. So it return nothing, nothing. So nothing return to main, meaning it is a void function. You understand this class? But it remain as a void. Okay. So the step is refer to the statement below function call. Statement all statement statement not one statement, all statement below function call. Okay. Identify if there are statements required data from the user defined function. Okay. If no, remain as void. If no, it will remain as void. So no, so it remain as a void. Okay, next. Belum habis not finished. So currently we have two function definition and function call. And then if you remember, 4 types of user defined function kan, which is void with parameter, void without parameter kan. So it is now we need to identify whether it should be remain as void without parameter, or should we put a parameter inside of it. Okay, so how to do this? Okay, so how to differentiate whether it is with parameter or without parameter? Okay, by looking at the function call. Okay, previously to detect whether it is void or non-void, we refer to the statement below the function call kan. Okay, to identify whether it should be a parameter or without parameter, look at the statement before the function call. Okay, before mana before? Which one is the statement before function call? Before over here, up over here. So before function call, is there any value that is required to be transferred to function welcome? Okay, so inside of function welcome, is there any value that is required from the statement below function call? Ada tak?
Tak ada.
Ada, sir.
No kan? So function welcome doesn't require any value from the previous statement. So it remain as no parameter. If we need any value from the previous statement, then we need to put the parameter inside here. That one is later on we see the example. So it remain as without parameter. Okay. Ini void or non-void. Okay, so for the next step is parameter or without parameter. Ni refer to the statement above function call. This is a function call. Refer to the statement above. If void or non-void, refer to the statement below. Okay, for parameter without parameter, refer to the statement above. Identify if function definition function definition is over here. Function definition is over here. Function definition require data from the previous statement. If no, remain as without parameter. You understand, class? Any question? Understand or not? Ni faham tak faham ni?
Faham, sir.
Faham, sir.
Make sure you understand because majority of the mark in final final exam nanti majority is come from mute. Apa tu mute? Majority come from function. Tuan Norkai apa ni? Mute dia ni. Apa ni? Tuan ni. Mute. Tuan. Siapa kena ni? Ada soalan ke apa? We have question.
No.
Mute. Okay. Lupa dah namanya. Okay, parameter or without parameter kan? Okay, so finish with the function call and function definition. So it remain as void and without parameter. So next step is to put the function prototype. Okay, function prototype location is over here before main body. So this is main. This is the location for function prototype. Okay, right? Your function prototype here. So this is the easiest one. So what you need to do is you just copy this. Okay, copy and paste it over here. Put semicolon. That's it. This is a function prototype. Error. Apa ni error ni? Ya.
So error tu sebab saya buat bracket dekat return tu.
Oh,
Void tu. Patutnya
okay,
kosong je.
sorry. Okay, no bracket. Thank you. Okay, no bracket. Okay. So we finish with function. Okay, void function without parameter. Okay, so when you run this program, the flow or the output is similar as before we change it to a function. It's still the same. One number, second number, okay, it's still the same. So as you can see over here, welcome is still at the top of the program bukan it is not below ke apa kan. So it's still on top of the program as the original code without module. Okay, so user will not see any changes in the input or output or the whole operation of the program but inside of the program now we have one user defined function which is void function without parameter. Okay, so let's see. Let's say inside of our program we want to print welcome more than one time. So what you need to do? For example, we want to print welcome at the bottom of the program. So what you need to do is you just copy and paste function call anywhere in your program where do you want welcome to appear. So we have two function call for welcome there's a different location. So now when you run the program, okay, so first we have welcome, okay, welcome, and then we have another one at the end of your program. Okay, you understand, guys? Okay, this is where reusable is applied. Okay, so one program, okay, one function you can call many times in your program. Okay, so it is reusable. Understand, guys?
Yes, sir.
Alright, let me delete this. Okay, so that's one just example of reusable. Okay, so next let us moving on to the second types of user defined function. Okay, which is void function with parameter. Void function with parameter. Okay, for that we are going to use this statement over here. Okay, this statement over here. Void function with parameter. Okay, if we refer to the question, where is it? We are going to apply print. Okay, print. Print. So in this case, it print both total and total 2 kan. Okay, but for this example, I just want to use print total only. Okay, print total only. This one I want to it remain as inside of main. So I just want to move this statement and put it in function print lah. Okay, so first step apa? You still remember what was the first step? Identify statement to be moved and then create function definition kan. Okay, identify. So this is a statement that you want to move and then create function definition for print, function print. So where should I put? Okay, below the first function. So this is a function welcome. Next we have function print. For example, the name is function print kan. Okay, and then put the body. Okay. Next, we must assume it is a void kan. Assume it as a void. So over here, we have written lah. Without bracket. Okay. So next step apa? What is the next step? So we create the function definition. Next step is to cut the statement to the function body. Okay, go to the statement that you want to move. Okay, you want to move this statement. Okay, cut. Okay, and then mark the location. This is just to mark not variable or anything. You can put anything as a marking. Okay, and then put the statement. Okay, put the statement over there. Okay, next step is replace the original statement location with function call. Okay, so original location. What is the function call, class? What should I put over here? Original location, replace it with function call.
Print bracket.
Print.
Okay, function call, just copy the function name over here. Okay, which is print kan. Print, not print f kan. The name of the function is print kan. It can be, you can change it to print total 2, it's up to you let's change to print total lah, to make it not confusing Okay, print total. So it print total. Okay, so put the function call. Okay. Settle kan. So next, the next step is to identify whether the function should be void or non-void. Refer to the statement below the function call. Identify if there are statements required data from the user defined function. If no, it will remain as void. Okay. So where's the function call? So this is the function call. Refer to the statement below. Is there any statement that require a data from print total function? Is it require any data from function print total? Statement below. Require or not?
No.
No So print total doesn't generate any data or any value. So it is not required by any statement below the function call. Tak ada so no statement below the function call. So this is the function call. Below, this is the below only one statement below. Okay, no statement require data from print total function. So it remain as a void. Clear so it remain as a void. Okay, next step is to determine whether it is a parameter or without parameter function. So for this, we need to refer to the statement above function call. Okay, this is a function call above. Where above? All the statement. All statement above. Okay. Is function print total require any data from the statement above? Okay, print total require or not, class?
Yes.
Require.
Require what data?
Total.
Total kan? So refer to the body of print total. You see, we want to print total variable. So total variable is not inside this function. So it is required from the statement above the function call, which is in line number what, class? You understand my question? Line 33 generate the value of total. So we need the data from line number 33 to be transferred to function print total. Okay, because print total want to print the value of total. So it doesn't have this value. So it requires this value from main. So what main need to do is main need to transfer total to print total. So how to transfer? Put it in the parameter. Okay, put it as a parameter. Okay, understand, guys? Okay, so now we have total as a parameter. So total is a parameter. It should be tally with this one. So if you have parameter over here, meaning that you are passing total to print total. So passing, it must be received over here. So receive Okay, while you are receiving this value, you need to also declare it because it is the first time used in this function. Okay, you must remember this. This function is independent from main. Okay, so this is, you can consider this as one country. This is one country, main also another country. So country, each of the country is independent. Independent. So if you want to use total in this country, you need to declare it again. Declare. Declare. If for parameter, you can declare inside of the bracket. Okay. Although we see over here we already declare, but this one is in main. So it is totally different from what's inside of print total. So this is different total. Understand, class? Understand not?
Yes.
Yeah?
Kalau kita declare dalam body boleh tak?
Cannot. For parameter, cannot. Other parameter, yes, you can. For example, inside here, you need to use number kan. Then you need to declare because it is not used inside of parameter. Okay. But for parameter, you need to declare inside of the bracket because it is first time used in the bracket. Because you want to receive kan. Want to receive over here before it entering the body. So it is used over here, then you need to declare it in here. Okay. Alright. So now it is receiving a parameter kan. Meaning that it is a with parameter lah. Now we already change this to void function with parameter. Okay, so last step apa class? Last step, what is the last step? Last step is, oh I forget to put the last step over here. Okay, last step is to FB. Write the function prototype. Okay, this is the easiest step kan. Just copy and paste it over here. Okay. Since it is with parameter kan, so what you need to do is, okay, normally we didn't put the name of the parameter, we just put the types of parameter, which is integer kan. So integer. Understand class? Remove the parameter name, just put the types only. For function prototype. Okay. So now it is passing integer lah. So when the compiler read this, it will read only the types. Okay. It will stand by that a parameter of type integer will be involved in this function. Why is it integer over here, class? Why is it integer over here? Why not float? Why not float? Because the original value is in integer. That's why we put integer over here. Unless if this is a float, for example, this is a float. So now we are moving a float kan. So this is a float kan. Float kan. So now it become what class? It become float lah. Okay, it become float. And this also become float. Clear tak? Is it clear class?
Clear, sir.
Okay, good. Any questions so far? Okay, let me change this to integer back. Any question? Okay, now when I run the program, still the same input and output. No changes in the input and output. However, in the coding, now we see that we applied two user-defined function already. Understand? Okay, so my question, if you don't have question then, okay, let's say if I want to put this, okay, I want to follow the question then. This one, I want to move this to print total function. Okay, so I just cut this and put it over here. So next, what should I do?
Letak parameter.
Next, I should put another parameter kan? Correct . So now our function print total must print two item, which is total and total2, not just total kan? Okay, so we must have total2 value as well. So how to do it?
koma tertentu kat parameter.
Correct. Okay. So correct. So we must transfer two parameter. Total 2. Okay, next this one should receive two parameter kan, which is integer, total 2. So let's say if total integer, total 2 float kan, so this should be float lah. For example, this one integer, this is float. So this is integer, this is float lah. But since it is the same integer, that's why we put integer. Alright. Okay, understand? So same goes to here. So now we have int. Okay, when we run the program, still the same input and output. User will not see the effect of the function, user-defined function. This is function call or with void with parameter kan. So this is void void with parameter. This is void with parameter. Void with parameter sini. This is void without parameter. This is void without parameter. Without parameter empty. Function call for void without parameter. Okay, class. Void straightforward. Okay, next. Okay, next we're going to see example of non-void. Non-void function. Okay, non-void function. Okay, for that we are going to use this statement over here. Okay, this statement which is input num1. Okay, so this statement we are going to move to function called input1. Okay, one. Okay, so first we put it as a void kan. So okay, so at this point we did not know yet whether it is a void or non-void. Kan? So we just put it as a void first. Okay, so first step, identify and then cut the statement. Cut and then put a mark over here kan. So that later on we want to put the function call over here at the original location Cut and paste. Kan? Cut and paste. Okay, so next step apa? What is the next step? Okay. Okay, replace original statement with function call. Okay, replace the original location with function call, which is input 1. Okay, next step. Identify whether it is void or non-void. Okay, so for void or non-void, refer to which statement class? Is it above or below function call?
Below.
Yeah, below function call. Refer, is there any statement below that required data from function input 1? So instead of input 1 generate num1. Okay, input 1 generate value num1. So is there any statement below the function call that require num1?
Yes.
Line number?
Line number 35.
Okay, line number 35 require value num1. So num1 is not here kan? So it is generated inside of function input 1, which is in another country. So you need to export this to main. Okay, so how to transfer this value to main? You cannot use parameter. Parameter is only to receive. So to transfer this value to main is by returning it to main. Return num1 to main. Understand, guys? So how we want to transfer num1? Okay, how we want to transfer a value from function to main? Okay, is by putting it inside of return. So return can only return one value only. One value only. So let's say if you have num1, num2, you cannot put num1, comma num2. This is wrong. Okay, return can only return one value only. Okay, you cannot put comma over there. So that's the syntax. Okay, understand this class, So over here, num1 has been used, but not declared yet. So where should I declare num1, class? Is it inside of the bracket or inside of the body?
Inside of the body.
Inside the body kan, it's not used for parameter kan. So inside of the body, num1. So originally num1 is integer kan, so we just follow the original value integer. So now it is returning num1 to main. Kan, return or passing parameter the same kan. So once you return this value, return to where? Return to main lah. Specifically over here. Okay, so it will return num1 to line 31. So inside of line 31, there must be a receiving variable. So where we want to receive? In line 31, we receive it through variable num1. Understand, class? Why I put num1 over here? Because we want to receive the value returned by function input 1. Okay, num1 value will be received by num1 here at main. That's why we have num1 equal, because it want to receive num1 from input 1. You understand, guys?
Yes,
You
sir.
see the difference, So this is without equal because it is a void. Okay, it doesn't receive anything. This one need to receive a value from input 1. That's why we put it over here. in front of the function call. Okay, that's the difference. So now it is return n. It return a value. Okay, void is return nothing. This is returning a value. So it cannot remain as a void class. So what should I put it over here?
Integers.
Correct. Okay. It should be integer. Why? Because num1 is integer. If num1 is a float, then this one should be
Float.
this one should be float. Okay. So this reflect to this. If this is float, then it become float. If this is integer, this become integer types of function. Okay, understand So this is integer. Right. So it is integer. Okay, class? Okay, return integer. Now it become integer function, not void anymore. Okay. This is also need to add. Since it is non-void, okay, non-void need to return n. When it return, it must receive in main. That's why you should put this. Okay, indicating that it is receiving value from input 1. You understand, class? Okay, next step. This is not finished yet. This one just to identify first, whether it is void or non-void. So we have a next step, which is parameter or without parameter. So parameter or without parameter is referring to statement above the function call. Okay, above is here, okay, here and these two, these two only, So is it parameter or without parameter, class? Is it parameter or without parameter?
Without parameter.
Without parameter, correct. Because of what? Because you see inside of function input 1, it doesn't require any value from the previous statement. Okay, no value required over here. No value, kan? So no value required. So no value before the statement is required in function input 1. So it remain as empty, which is without parameter. Understand, class? So now next step is to copy and paste. Okay, so now we have non-void function without parameter. Okay, so this is first element, function definition. Then we have function call. Okay. Then we have function prototype. Ready, class? Any question? No question? For non-void, the step is a little bit longer, kan? There are additional things that you need to look. If it is a returning value, you need to change this to the types of this value. And then don't forget over here, it must receive. Okay, it must receive. Okay, no question So if no, then we are going to look at the last type. Okay, which is non-void with parameter. Okay, for that we are going to look at this example, this statement this statement over here. Okay, so we are going to move this to function calculate total. Okay, so we already identified the statement. Okay, and then for starting we didn't know yet what the type of function, so we just put it as a void. Okay, return. Okay, so this is the statement that you want to move. So cut and mark the original location. Okay, simply paste it over here. Okay, paste it over here. Then next step is what? Original location original location you must change to function call. Okay, what is the function call? Calculate total. Okay, so next step, what? Identify void and non-void. Okay, identify void or non-void. So for that, you need to look at the statement below the function call. So is it any statement required value from calculate total function class? Okay, calculate total function is this statement. Is there any value required by the statement below the function call?
Ada.
Okay, which line that require value from calculate total?
39.
39 and 37. 37 also require value from calculate total So calculate total, generate total. Okay, calculate total, generate total. Okay, so total is needed in line 37 and line 39. Okay, two 37 required total, 39 also required total. So clearly we need to pass total to main. So how you want to pass total to main?
Return total.
Correct. So we return total. Okay, so total is what types of variable?
Integer.
Integer kan? So it is first time used in calculate total, you must declare first Before you can pass, you must declare first. So it is integer. Now we return integer. It become what types of function class?
Integer.
Correct. So now it become integer function. Alright, same as the previous process so return integer, it become integer. Okay, so now it return total. Somebody must receive total in main country. So how we want to receive total from function calculate total class? How you want to receive this?
Total equal to calculate total.
Correct. Oh, very good So you understand. Okay. So this one must receive. So receive by putting this variable equal to function call. You will receive total over here. Okay. Alright. So clearly it is non-void. Okay. Next step. Identify parameter or without parameter. Okay. Refer to the statement above the function call. Okay. Above function call. Is there any value from the above function call required by function calculate total? Is there any value?
Ada sir.
Ada. What value required by
61,
function calculate total? Sorry?
61, 62.
num1 and num2. Okay, you see in function calculate total, in order for us to get total, we need num1 and num2. It is not here kan? So we must import it from main. So how you want to import from main? Num1 and num2 must be passed to calculate total. So this is to determine parameter or not. We refer to statement above. To determine void or non-void, we refer to statement below. Okay, this is for parameter. Okay, for parameter, we require num1 and num2. So we pass num1 and num2 using the parameter. Okay, so passing num1 and num2, it must be received. Where it should be received? Class. Where you want to receive it over here?
Parameter sir.
Parameter num1 and num2. Okay, since this is the first time we use in function calculate total, you must declare it first. Okay, you see? So now it become non-void. With parameter. Okay, so don't forget the last and final step, which is to write down the function prototype. Okay, remove the parameter name. Just leave a types only. Semicolon. That's it. Now it is done. With parameter. Okay, so this is function prototype with parameter. Okay, this is function call. Okay, you see, function call have equal in front of it. And then this is the function definition. Okay, so again, when we build and run, supposedly we will get the same input output. Okay, without seeing any different from the original program. So that's it, class. Any question? Any question? Easy or not? Easy or difficult to understand?
Easy.
Easy, good. Okay, you need to practice this lah, kan? So that you will remember the step. The most important thing is the step. Maybe you will get confused between the step for void and parameter. Don't get confused. Which step is for void? Which step is for parameter? Don't get confused. So I show you this, which is not presented in the notes. That's why I put it in one program. I put all the example over here. So it is easy for you to understand. So this is applicable to any problem. So any problem, first you get it, you just use these steps. So it will be okay. So make sure every time you get, you want to develop a function, make sure the first step is always always put it as void first. So from that, you change it, whether it is not need to change to non-void or need to change to with parameter. Always start with void first. Okay, that's it. So any question? No question, since it is easy, so no question. Is it no question? Okay, if no question, see, for attendant, so for attendant, I want you to create one function, okay, for total 2, to calculate total 2. Okay, so we have another equation over here, okay, which is not in any function, kan? So I want you to create a function for total 2 and also a function to get input num2. So two additional function, function, let me put it over here. Function input 2. Another one is function calculate total 2. Okay, this is for your attendant. Just simple, simple exercise only, calculate total 2. Okay, I will share this coding through WhatsApp group, and then you modify from here. Boleh kelas? Okay?
Boleh.
We have another 20 minutes, so you may do this and submit straight away. Okay, for test tonight, so make sure you present, you get ready early. So by 8 AM, we will start the test straight away. Okay, see the image, the picture that I sent to you, the flow. Okay, make sure your laptop is in a good condition. Okay, code block is working and everything. Boleh kan? Okay. Okay, so if no question, then that's it for today. Okay, thank you. See you guys tonight. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Thank you.
Salam, thank you.
Salam, teacher.
Waalaikumsalam.